So our guests, our panel guests, I'm going to start with Hayley. If you can just introduce yourself to the students. Who are you? What do you do? And something unique or interesting about you that will surprise everybody so they'll remember you. Hayley, thank you.
Okay. Hello. I'm Hayley Thompson. My name's in the little picture. Spring of 2019, I studied abroad in Salzburg, Austria. Super fun. Highly suggest doing it. I have all my postcards behind me for the effect. Fun fact, I've been working at Disney for 3 years and I opened Galaxy's Edge.
Oh, okay.
Super interesting. I work 6 days a week. So that's about all I do.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Hayley. Shelby, can you introduce yourself to the crowd this afternoon and something distinctive about you as well?
Absolutely. So my name is Shelby Pfeiffer. I graduated this summer, August of 2020. And the summer before that, so it would be 2019, I did an internship abroad in Okinawa, Japan. So that was a great time. Something that's kind of interesting that ties all of that together is every time I travel to a new country, I get a new tattoo. So it's like a passport that stays with me forever.
Fantastic. Thank you. And Ryan. Hi, Ryan. Thanks for joining us.
Hi, my name is Ryan Lim. I am a senior at Rosen studying hospitality management. I am graduating this semester, so like 2 months from now. Very exciting. Not even 1 month from now. Oh my God, quickly approaching. I'm a human resources intern at Entertainment Technology Partners in Orlando. And a fun fact, it's not as fun as Shelby's or Hayley's, but I am obsessed with TikTok. I'm on TikTok probably like 6 hours a day. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Don't worry, Ryan. I didn't know what TikTok was until about 3 or 4 weeks ago, so don't worry.
I wish I didn't know what it was.
Okay, thank you very much, Ryan. And Courtney, well, welcome this afternoon, Courtney.
Yes, hello, everyone. My name is Courtney Pelfrey, and I am the Assistant Director of Employer Relations with our Career Services team. So you'll learn a little bit more about career services here throughout this panel, but I specifically serve as the liaison to Rosen College of Hospitality Management. So I work with a big team of career services folks, and we work with all of the different programs, but I specifically am kind of the person, the point of communication for Rosen. Oh, and a fun fact about me. So right now in this, interesting virtual environment that we're all adapting to, I have quite the group of coworkers at home with me, including a toddler, an infant, and a miniature dachshund. So that's my work crew at home, and my husband, but he's not as exciting as the rest of those.
Lovely. Thanks, Courtney. And before I pass to Jessica, my interesting fact yesterday was I got married in a kilt because I was born in Scotland. My interesting fact today, I'm a fluent French speaker, which in Florida is a complete waste of time, but never mind. It sounds good, but I picked the wrong language. Okay, and Jessica.
Thank you so much, and thank you, everyone. I love all of your fun facts. I feel like I learn so much about everyone all the time. So my name is Jessica Wicke, and I'm the program director for Rosen Professional Internships. So I'll be helping you to guide you throughout your internship story throughout the Rosen College. I work with an amazing team, David Wickstead and Giselle Canova, and I'm going to show you guys a short presentation to kind of just show you a little bit about internships right now. My fun fact is, well, I love to travel. So hospitality gives you that option to travel, and I'm getting my pilot's license. So that's kind of exciting. I need 17 more hours and I can fly on my own. So yeah, I've been trying for many years, but hopefully one day I'll finish it. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. Is that okay, Alan?
Lovely. Yes. Thank you.
All right. So thank you so much for taking the time to join us today. I'm going to share my screen with you all. Give me a thumbs up if you can see it. Thumbs up? All right, very good. So I'm Jessica Wicke. My team, Giselle Canova and David Wickstead, we teach all of the internship courses here at the Rosen College. These are our email addresses right here on the screen. You can see jessica.wicke@UCF and the other email addresses. If you need anything, even before you start our amazing program, feel free to reach out to me. I'm happy to talk to you about opportunities. If you're ready to talk about internships, please come on in. A little real quick overview of our program is we have 3 internship courses you have to take, 1 credit each over 3 separate semesters. Your first internship is really going to be professional development, getting you ready for structured internships in 2 and 3. So in internship 1, you're going to get your resume created, learn interviewing skills, get the fundamentals of job search strategies, all so that you can have a fantastic opportunity for internship 2 and 3, which will be your structured internships of 250 hours each. As part of your development, we created the Leadership Development Series in the spring of 2017. This is part of the curriculum in your internship courses, and you're going to get access to industry leaders that can talk to you and develop you to a better leader. We invite presidents of organizations, directors of programs, all to come in, CEOs to talk to you about trending topics. We also introduced, with the assistance of Dr. Fael, this fall prep. This is very exciting. Professional Rosen Experiential Portfolio. And this is where you're going to take your 3 internship courses and you're going to add on to that another 250 hours of development. We want you to leave the Rosen College having the resume to make you marketable in this very, very exciting industry. So through prep, you're going to get to actually join student groups. You're going to get to volunteer. You're going to get to do undergraduate research if you want, all sorts of amazing opportunities that will keep you connected in the industry and make you the best hireable candidate when you graduate. Part of our prep series, we started the Prep Connect. So every week during the fall and spring semesters, you'll have the chance to come in for an hour Q&A session just to talk to industry professionals. We bring in some amazing alumni. We bring in leaders in the industry from every topic, from entertainment and events to hospitality, lodging, tourism, all across the board, just to talk to you guys about the industry. Super exciting. We also launched this year our hub. It's the Professional Communication Hub. This is a web course and a platform that houses all of our events, all of your internships, jobs, opportunities, everything you need to make your experience successful is housed within the hub. So it's a really good opportunity for you all. It's a one-stop shop for all of your needs. So you get everything included in that hub. That was everything in a very, very quick synopsis. So I know I went over that really quickly, about 10 minutes. Perfect, that was good. So now we kind of want to open it up for some questions and to talk about if anything that you guys would like to ask for this open house.
Lovely. Thank you, Jessica and team. So, we've got a question already. Abigail, fantastic. I love it when fast questions come in because that it makes it easier for me. So Abigail, really good question. Let's start with Jessica. Jessica, what are some of the most popular or student favorite internships? More specifically, if I want to go into wedding planning, are there specific internships catered to that?
Yes, what a great question. I'm so happy for the first question. Yes, so we partner with 800 different organizations all across our great nation and the world. So we actually partner with Takami Bridal in Japan, and they are the largest wedding organization in all of Japan, with offices in Japan and Hawaii, and then all the way right here in our backyard to Disney fairy tale weddings. So really it's across the board what you want to be experienced to. Now, if you decide you want to do wedding planning specifically and you want to stay in this area, there's so many great opportunities with Just Mary, Blush by Brandy, Disney fairy tale weddings, then all the great venues, the Balcony Orlando, the wedding venue, all these great different areas that you can get internships. Also, while you're here, you could be joining the great and very, very networked, savvy student groups like NACE, the National Association for Catering and Events, CASES, the Night Special Event Society. MPI, Meeting Professionals International. So joining that student group is going to give you extra incentives and extra connections to find the internship of your dream, specifically within weddings.
Yeah. And can I just add to that, Jessica, in the sense that when I started yesterday, the thing I kept pushing was connections, connections, connections. This college is just connected to everybody. And I'm not a wedding planning expert at all, but I know Nick Adamitis. I think, Jessica, you know Nick. So he works for Disney. He's with Disney Weddings. He teaches some of our event courses. And then one of our former graduate students has got a huge wedding hotel in Hawaii. So it doesn't matter what you ask for. There's always somebody at this college who knows is connected. It's a really, really powerful web. So lovely. Second question for Jessica. We're going to keep Jessica busy just to begin with, and then I'm going to go to the students. So Jessica, question from Rory. How are internships being handled with regards to COVID? So for example, I heard the university was considering not offering internships until 2022.
Right.
COVID.
So this is a great question. In the time of COVID, there's been a lot of change, not just within hospitality and tourism, but across the board. It's truly affected many industries, and ours has been one of them. So even if internships might be delayed, they're never canceled. They're just delayed until another year, until we figured out, how to interact socially in safe ways. They'll just be delayed. But until then, there's ways that you can either be building your resume or continuing to, build that network by joining student groups and different opportunities. Now, say you come in and you're one of those great students that have already a 2-year degree when you leave high school, which happens quite frequently now, right? So you're coming in and you've already got your 2 years. So you're really starting as a junior and you want to start your internships right away. Don't worry. There are still opportunities. It might not be your exact dream company and dream job, but I'm going to help you to find that opportunity that will continue to build your career goals. So what I mean by that is if you want to be a wedding planner, but there's no venues hiring wedding planners right now, let's find an opportunity that you're going to learn all the skills that you need to be an incredible wedding planner. Let's find an opportunity that you're going to get your social media marketing, your branding, your logistics and planning. So there's ways that we can work around it. Your 5-year goal and career goal is the same, but your 1, 2, 3, and 4 steps to get there might just be a little different. But your end goal will still remain the same and you still will have those great opportunities. But that's my job and Courtney's job to guide you on your journey to make sure you get to where you want to go.
Lovely. Courtney, would you like to add a little bit? Because obviously Courtney's from careers, so it's a slightly broader picture. Anything?
Yeah. And I can say too, just if it's helpful, I know sometimes it's really confusing. How do Jessica and I work together, and what's kind of the difference? What is career services? What's the point, and how, what is the partnership? And so I just want to say we work really closely together. And so the great thing is we both have a lot of contact with different employers, and we want to bring an employer in who might be looking for interns, and then also for full-time candidates, after graduation. So really it's like Jessica said, you're building a portfolio of transferable skills, and our job is to help you understand, how do I turn these transferable skills into a story, kind of my professional story, my professional brand. And I look at how do I help you write that on your resume, and how do I help you talk about that in an interview, and how can you write that onto your LinkedIn profile. And so kind of all of those pieces, you're creating the story, and it might be that you go out and create an internship and we can help you facilitate that. So your options are kind of endless, but we want to be, a support for you. So I think Jessica summarized that really well, but I want you to know that we have a really great partnership where, we want you to be supported while you're a student, and then, help you launch into whatever comes next.
Lovely. Thanks, Courtney. And if I can just stress, Courtney, Jessica, David, and Giselle, the sort of internship and careers team, they really will give you one-on-one assistance. I don't know how they do it, because we have nearly 4,000 students, but they do it. Okay, it really is very impressive. Jessica, I'm just going to come to you. Then I'm going to ask for some student comments from our team. Christian has asked, I will be transferring to Rosen with an AA degree. Would I be able to start internship 1 in that first semester?
The answer is yeah, absolutely. So internship one, remember, you don't have to have a job to take internship one. You don't have to have an internship or a job or anything. So I highly suggest it if you're coming in with that already 2 years behind you. Yes, please take it when you arrive.
Excellent, thank you. Okay, Ryan, you're right on my Zoom screen. You're right in the middle, which is, I don't know if that's a good thing or not, but you're right in my eye line. Ryan, could you give a student perspective of how you found your first internship, how it went, and how your internship career has developed?
Yeah, of course. So I was really looking for an internship with human resources and getting my foot in the door with that. And I did a lot of the search on my own, but found that since I didn't have those connections with those companies, or I didn't know anyone already in it, it was a real struggle to get my foot in the door. So I reached out to the internship two professor, Giselle, who is also the advisor for the human resources club I'm part of. And I said, hi, Giselle, I'm really struggling to find this internship. Can you help me out? Like, do you know of any internships in the area with the human resources? So she linked me with entertainment technology partners. I applied, I interviewed, and I got the internship with ETP in HR. And it actually, so that was in spring of 2020. So that was in January, and then COVID hit. But then I was able to come back to ETP again as a human resources intern. So I was able to get this internship through the career services internship professors here at UCF, and I was able to stay with them. So it definitely, going to UCF and Rosen definitely helped me secure it.
Excellent. Thank you, Ryan. And I'll come back to you a little bit later on. Shelby, what's your internship experience here at Rosen?
Absolutely. So I worked all throughout college. So it was kind of a balance of, holding a job to pay for college and then, getting those internship experiences as well, which sometimes go hand in hand. But, sometimes you work just to keep food on the table, but then you also want to do those things that are directly into your field. So I worked for the Walt Disney World Company for about 6.5 years. I worked directly in entertainment. I see a couple questions on here directly pertaining to the entertainment faucet. My degree was entertainment management. So there's obviously an audition process for that, but I worked entertainment throughout my college experience at Disney World. And then I was fortunate to do my overseas internship in Japan. And I had so much support from our internship department, and Jessica specifically. She told me, she was like, you're going to Japan, no ifs, ands, or buts. You're going to be ready to go for that interview and you're going to go. And we made it happen. So obviously that was just unbelievable, an amazing experience. And when I came back, because I felt so helped out within the internship department, I was fortunate enough to actually work for the UCF internship department. So I did that for a little while. And then from there, I worked with ETP as well with Brian for a little bit before I graduated. So I would say that my path of internships was controlled spontaneity. They for sure weren't the direct exact things for every single thing that I did, but they were all connected, and I have the skills to kind of enter the workforce now that I'm graduated. So that's my story.
Excellent. Okay, you've been busy. And Haley, what's been your internship experience today?
So I came into college with 0 work experience, not gonna lie. In my first semester of college, I was like, oh man, I should probably start doing that. I go to Rosen, looking at all these people with great internships. You want to be competitive in the industry. So I was like, what do I do? And then I just was like, let's do Disney. Like, why not? Let's be magical, I guess. So I applied for Disney. I got food and beverage at Magic Kingdom. So I worked at Casey's Corner in Magic Kingdom as my first job ever. So that was a very humbling experience, but it was a really good first job to have. And I've just kind of worked with Disney since then. And then I went to like attractions, and then I moved to concierge. So I left the company to study abroad, and then I came back. and then I opened Galaxy's Edge. I've done a lot of different roles within Disney. And then I did concierge for a while. And because of COVID, I'm doing attractions again. But it's a lot of fun. So really, I've just been working within Disney, but trying to figure out. Still, I'm 21, so I guess I'm still a child, but still figuring it out.
Yeah, I'm still a child as well. Don't worry, Haley. Never lose that childness. Jessica and Courtney, I'm going to come to you both. I'm getting a few questions here. What do we do specifically for entertainment? Because entertainment's a hugely successful program now. It's a slightly different job direction. So I know you've given some examples. Could you just expand on what we do for the entertainment program?
Absolutely. So, we partner, like I said, with 800 different organizations, and entertainment is right in the mix of that. So we have our students working all across this wonderful field of entertainment. So if we look at sports entertainment, they're working with the United States Tennis Association, Orlando Magic, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Kansas City Chiefs, Jacksonville Jaguars, Miami Heat. If we look at the music side of it, in concert production, they're working with ETP, where Shelby worked and where Ryan currently works, entertainment technology partners in one of their brands called LMG, and concert touring. There's all those different ways. If you're looking at music production, A&R, development, talent management, all the different areas that go into music, they're working for Warner Music U, Sony Music U, Grammy U. If you look at another side of it, again, of logistics of planning, they're working for AEG. So really, it's across the board. Now, I'm not saying that these positions are here and I have a list. You show up to my office. Hi, Courtney, you're here. You're going to AEG today. It does not happen like that whatsoever. You have to truly be ready for the opportunity. So you have to have your resume looking great from Courtney. You have to be planned and prepared for your interview. And then you have to apply, interview, and obtain for your own positions, okay? But we're going to give you all the tools to get there. So these highly competitive positions are going to be available to you for you to apply for. And what that means is that you need to make sure you have the best looking resume and you're ready. So by joining those student groups and professional organizations and getting all that experience to make you marketable. So there's a lot of opportunities. Now that same thing, I know I'm talking a lot, but I would like to cover events as well. So there's a lot of event students. So we have about 700 entertainment students, about 700 event students. So they come to me as well and ask, where can we work in the event industry? So do you want to do social events like weddings or socials? Do you want to do corporate events? Do you want to do trade shows and exhibitions? Do you want to work at destination management companies? Any one of those, we have partnerships as well. So it's really a great comprehensive list of where you can work.
And what I'll add to that is, on what we really want you to be thinking about. And I saw a question about, getting experience before you get here. And what we want you to think about with experience, and Jessica mentioned this, is anything can be great experience if you're building the right skill sets for the industry that you desire to go into. So for example, if you want to go into, entertainment management, and a big piece of that, you sit down with me and we make a list of what are the top skills you need to be building. I've got some really cool tools and resources you can use to do some of that research. And we can make a plan and say, okay, I really need to build customer service skills, and I really need to work on my oral communication skills. And maybe we decide, okay, those are two of the skill sets I want to target. How can we find an internship experience or a job experience or a volunteer experience, any type of experience to help you target very specific skill sets? And then we will teach you how to write those into your resume in a way that really transfers them and translates them into the field or industry that you're trying to move into. So it really is this process that you can be starting now. You can be starting it as early as you want, because there's not like a cutoff for when you can start building these great skills and experience. But I also don't want you to feel this pressure like, well, if I don't have this very prestigious internship from day one, you can be getting great skills no matter what you're doing. Your student organizations, community volunteering, really it can come from anywhere, but it's that attention to detail and a focus on the skills.
Lovely, thanks, Courtney. And it's funny, I think I said to many of the students yesterday, my daughter is a senior, so she's applying for college at the moment. And when I'm sure that many of you are doing the same, you do your letter, you have to write your essay. And she wrote a beautiful essay, but I said to her, well, she said, what do you think? I said, well, actually, I think it's really, really good. But just imagine there's 10 people going for 2 spaces. What do you mean? I says, exactly what I say. There's 10 people going for 2 spaces. Why should someone choose you? And she's a bright girl, but she said, oh, I've never thought about that before. That's how you survive. So you have to try and think, how do you stand out from a crowd? And it can be anything. There's no one way to do it, but how do you stand out in a crowd? And I'm looking at Ryan, Shelby, and Haley. I know why they've been successful, because they stand out in different ways. Okay, so just think, 10 people, 2 people might get it. What can get you to that number 2? Okay, that's what you're after. I'm going to pivot slightly, and I'm going to go to, I think, who went to Austria? It was Haley. Haley, one of the questions in here is, how did you adjust to being a student in another country? So study abroad is something very, very different, but again, on your resume, it's a really, really good thing. You're independent, you're a little bit adventurous. Can you talk to a little bit about your experience? How did you end up in Austria? How did you survive? And what transferable skills did you think you obtained to take you forward in the future?
Yeah, so I'm not gonna lie, when I first got there, it was culture shock. I've been to Germany before, but Austrian people, completely different breed. I showed up as this American girl in February when they're not expecting tourists for school. So when I got there, nobody was speaking English, but obviously everyone speaks English there because it's Austria and they're very well adapted. But going to school there, I was honestly terrified. I was just like, I don't know anybody here. My family lives in Florida, but I just chose Austria for travel purposes because it's in the middle of Europe. And from the perspective of an American, I was like, if I'm going to travel every single weekend, where should I be? I'm not even joking. I like spin the globe, and I was like, Austria is right in the middle. So I just kind of picked it like that. And then I was choosing between Innsbruck, Vienna, and Salzburg, and I loved The Sound of Music. If you guys didn't know, The Sound of Music was filmed in Salzburg. So it's just a culture, like very culturally enriched city. It's beautiful. Like if you've never seen a picture of Salzburg, Austria, like it's beautiful. Like I would live there right now, but obviously COVID, I can't. But when I went there, the credits actually transfer really weird. For classes, I ended up having to take like 10 classes to equate to about 4, but the classes are really interesting. Like I took an Austrian herb class. When am I ever going to learn about Austrian herbs again? Never. It was fantastic. You learn all of these different things. I learned about like the most bizarre things about their festivals, about dressing like demons during Christmas. Like it's amazing. Like if you're American, you have to do it because it's America. You just have to study abroad. But they did a really good job the first week we went there of immersing everybody because everyone's from different cultures. Like we have people from Japan and like people from Africa and people from like Malaysia and like, I mean, me, and then people from like the Netherlands. So like immersing everyone, trying to get everyone accustomed to like Austrian culture and like what's normal for Austria and like what can you do and like what you can't do. And like, yes, it's legal to carry around an open pint of beer. And that was probably the best news I'd ever heard. No, I'm just kidding. But it's a really great experience. And I met so many amazing people. My worldview, that sounds crazy, but my worldview has completely changed. Because you don't really realize living in Orlando, Florida, your life is like what Disney World, hotels, I-4, I-4 eyesore, that kind of thing. Like that's what your mind is focused around. But when you like live in a country like Austria, it's just great. It's hard to put it into words, but just 10 out of 10 recommend it for everybody. You get accustomed because it's through UCF. So the teachers do a really good job of immersing you into meeting everybody. They like force you to talk. So that's good.
And Haley, can I ask you a question about the finances? Because the perception is if you study abroad, it's very, very expensive and not everybody has the money. How did you cope?
So I'm not gonna lie, you just gotta eat bread sometimes for breakfast and lunch. It's not that expensive, honestly. If you want it to be expensive, that you make it expensive. But if you want to travel cheap, you can 100% travel cheap. You don't have to travel. You can stay in your city if you would like to do that. You can do a shorter program. What I did, and I was talking about this with my dad before I left, we did this plan because I was working almost full time. So I was like saving up about 25% of every single paycheck I had for about like the 8 months prior, and just like putting that towards, because I knew I was going to buy like postcards. I have an egg from Disneyland Paris. I like to buy weird stuff when I travel. So I knew I had to save up some more for that. But the food wise, it's not that expensive. It's not like I had a car, so I couldn't just drive to McDonald's. The grocery stores closed at like 5 p.m. What was I going to do? Go to the vending machine? Like, that's not really in the building. So it's nice because things aren't as convenient. This sounds crazy. Things aren't as convenient there. So you don't spend as much money because it's going to take you more money to get there than it's going to be to buy the food. The closest McDonald's was like 45 minutes away. So it was nice. I had to like cook soup. It was great.
Lovely. Thank you. Haley, you clearly had a good time. Shelby, what about you? You went to Japan. So how was your experience, and how has it really helped you since you've come back to the US?
Yeah, absolutely. I can touch on all of those points. Starting financially, just to kind of build off of that. I was not in the best financial position prior to going to Japan. And I actually applied for the UCF scholarship that Rosen offers. And that helped cover my airfare to Japan and back. So that is available. And if that's something that you feel like you could pursue, absolutely reach out to the internship department and get more information on that, career services, because it is available and a lot of people don't know that. And then just learning, the tips and tricks of how to use Google Flights and how it's cheaper to do that than, going through direct airlines, things like that. So those are obviously money saving tactics kind of prior to the situation of going there. Japan was amazing for me. Before I went, I was kind of stuck in life, it kind of felt like, and it just jump started a whole new direction of kind of where I've gone in life. So coming back, not only can I say that I have had international experience, but I can use those techniques and tools and things that I learned over there because it's elevated from what you already know. So you may have communication skills here, speaking to you right now over a panel, but in Japan, I had to learn to speak Japanese and incorporate cultural elements as well. So everything that you kind of have the base roots of here, when you study abroad or travel abroad or work abroad, you elevate those skills to kind of just a completely different level. So coming back from Japan, I can use those elevated skills. 1, 2, I'll be completely honest, when they see it on your resume, they want to ask you about it. And then you have the ability to dive into seeing that you lived in Japan, and that's interesting, and you stand out and you're above the crowd because you have something different about you. So that has helped me in situations. And third of all, I just think that everyone should travel abroad. You get out of your space, you get out of what you are expected in life, things like that, that you don't get when you just stay still. So that would be kind of, my best recommendation for why you should be working abroad or traveling abroad. And like I said, I was not in a financially stable place in the beginning of where I thought that was even a possibility for me. But the team at Rosen really, if this is something that you are interested in and you are committed and you are professional, they will figure out a way to make it happen for you. So
I'm glad you brought that up, Shelby, because, you know, there's the international internships and there's study abroad, and both are absolutely incredible. The difference between the two is that when you work in an international internship in Japan, you get paid for working. So it might, you know, depending on your financial, you know, statement at the time or where you're at, there's opportunities to do both, and they're both so rewarding. I want to say, and I put it in the chat, Rosen College gives away $250,000 in scholarships every single academic year to Rosen College students alone. Get some of that free money. Don't let it go, folks.
Jessica, could you just expand on what do we do to help students study abroad? And funny enough, Shelby, when you were talking, and I was thinking Haley as well, particularly with Japan, Shelby, for the remainder of your life, I swear, every time you go for an interview, the interviewer will say, wow, you've been in Japan. Because Japan's a little bit different. You know, I went there for the first time last year. You know, it's really quite a unique place. So you've got a conversation piece on your resume. And to be honest, Austria's similar because it's not the most traditional European country to go to. So it's like, wow, you've got a conversation piece. And the conversation, you start a conversation, you never know where it's going to lead. So they're really, really good things. But Jessica, could you know, what do we do to find opportunities to help students with visas and all this complicated stuff? What do we do?
Absolutely. Thank you for bringing that up. So we help students along the whole way. And to just elaborate on what you said about your resume. So when an employer sees a study abroad in Austria or an international internship in Japan, what they see is that you're committed, you're professional, you were chosen for this highly competitive position, and that you're not afraid, you're able to step outside of your comfort zone and be creative. And so that really does give you an edge up. We help you for the whole process. So we help you get your resume ready to apply for it. We help you with your interviewing skills. Once you're chosen and you've done the interview, you've been selected, then we start the visa process, and we help you with the visa process all the way along until you're purchasing your airfare and you're heading to Japan. So I myself, or my colleague Giselle Canova, have visited every single location that we send our students to in Japan, Costa Rica, Panama, Spain, Bermuda. The only one we haven't visited yet is China, but that's coming up in summer 2021. So there are opportunities. We have vetted them very carefully. And now, along with our study abroads, we have an actual partnership with that school and UCF. So you go and you stay either in the dormitories on the campus at the university, or you stay somewhere very close to the university. So great. And we help you all along the way.
As you can tell everybody, Jessica has a terrible job. Lovely. Courtney, I'm going to pivot to Courtney. What are the biggest mistakes students make when they're applying for jobs? Is it the way they write their letters? Do they miss things on their resumes? What are the mistakes that people make that are easily rectified?
Sure. So I kind of look at this in two different categories. There are small mistakes, right? Like we all, you know, we want to make sure our resumes stand out. So get those critiqued, have career services give you a critique on your resume, come to a resume workshop. So those are kind of the small things, right? Like the grammar or the spelling mistakes, things that are easily fixable. Something though that I want to point out that's kind of a big thing, but that's probably the easiest thing to fix, is just not giving yourself an adequate amount of time to really put in the effort to get the result that you want. So I can't tell you how often, and I love speaking to groups like this because you are in a great position to take advantage of just the amount of resources that would be available to you at Rosen and at UCF. But sometimes I'll get a student sitting in my office and they say, all right, I'm graduating in a week. And I say, all right, great. So what can I help you with? And they say, well, everything. Where do I start? And I say, oh my goodness, that is a conversation that I want to be having sooner. And it's not that we can't help a senior graduating in a week. It's just that they are going to probably look unhappy when I tell them all the things that they're going to need to do in that week to get themselves kind of up to speed and fully engaged in a good job search. And so, you know, sometimes what we talk to students about is a job search. that can feel like a full-time job in and of itself. But that doesn't mean that you're doing something wrong. It often means that you're doing everything right. If you're taking the time to network and to really make connections within organizations that you're interested in, even if that's just a 10-minute phone call for information. Have you worked on your resume and had it looked over? Do you have a great LinkedIn profile where you can showcase your personal and your professional brand? Have you attended workshops? All of these little pieces, you can start those early and you can be working on them and updating them often. So don't leave everything until the last minute, because then you're going to hear us say, all right, you've got a lot of work to do. And it's not that that can't be done, but it's going to feel even more anxiety inducing if we leave everything till the last minute. So, there's support for you the whole way. Get started with a resume right now. And don't worry if you show up and you think, oh, this is a terrible resume. Well, just the fact that you have a resume already, that's going to put you ahead of peers who don't have a resume at all. And so wherever you're starting from, don't hesitate to reach out and ask for the support, because it's here for you. That is literally why we are here, is to support you in that way. So yeah, I think, certainly the little things, Alan, like you said, I want to be nitpicky about your resume because that's my job. Let me help you with that. But also, if I could just give a big piece of advice, it's start early so that we can make sure that we can get you a personalized career plan that gets you exactly to the goal that you want.
Lovely. Thank you, Courtney. Really, really good advice. Jessica, just a quick question that has zipped up the chat line. If you're in Orlando and you've not worked before, if you're a high school senior, are there many entry-level positions that people can come into, so they're sort of working as they come through to college?
There's a ton of entry level. If you're specific within, lodging, you can work at one of the hotels. It depends on your age, because a lot of restrictions for under 18. So there are a lot of restaurants will have opportunities for under 18, but most places you have to be 18 or above. But any entry level positions that you want to get into. And I think one of the students were asking about entertainment entry level positions. There are a ton of opportunities out there. So start looking at volunteering. That's your first step in the door if you can't get into a paid position. And there's a lot of opportunities to volunteer.
Lovely. Okay, one of the highlights, actually it's twice a year, one of the huge highlights of the Rosen College are our career fairs. And we've just had our first virtual career fair, which is an amazing success. Can I start with the students? Ryan, have you ever partaken in one of our careers fairs before?
Unfortunately, I have not. I have made the grave
Ryan,
mistake.
that's the wrong answer.
I know. I've made the grave mistake of not attending them. And do I regret it? Yeah, so much. There are so many great opportunities and networking opportunities. So many employers come out. And I wish I did attend the career fair sooner. So when you come to Rosen, definitely attend them.
Lovely. Courtney and Jessica, can you just somehow, it's a very hard thing to describe because it's such a big and engaging event. How would you describe it in a few words, and how would you describe the benefits of our career fairs?
I can just speak to the one that just happened, and Jessica, you can talk about, career fairs past, but we just had our very first virtual career fair. And so what's really cool, and I think a statistic that is just exciting, is there were, between the group of employers we had and the students who registered, 230 interviews happened in 4 hours. So 230 individual interviews between students and employers in that 4-hour period. And that is one-on-one conversations, giving students the opportunity to both learn about an organization and to interview them, because we want you interviewing them just as much as they're interviewing you. But yeah, so we're really proud of that. And we had employers were emailing me after the fact, telling me how much they love the Rosen students and that they're just eager to hire pretty much as many as they can. So that's great news.
Thank you so much. And, this was the first semester we've ever done a virtual career fair, and the feedback was phenomenal from the students as well as the employers. So every semester in the fall and every spring semester, we invite 96 employers onto our campus to invite our all of our Rosen College current students and alumni to offer opportunity to be hired. So we have everything from lodging and tourism, events, entertainment, everything across the board, restaurants and food service. So really highlight of the career fair is you get 4 hours of undivided attention. We actually have a career fair app that you can download on your phone, and then all of the employer's information is on there, everything about the positions. So it's a good way to stay connected. And then it's up to you to shine. And so we prepare you for the career fair, making sure Courtney's going to make sure your resume looks tip top if you meet with her. We're going to have, help you with your interviewing skills. And then the dreaded, elevator speech. Oh my gosh, the elevator speech. That 30 seconds where you're selling yourself to the organization that you want to work for. So, it's exciting. It's overwhelming at first. Maybe we could ask Haley or Shelby about what their experiences have been with our career fairs over the last few years.
I had to go to one for extra credit once, and I'm not gonna lie, I got offered a job at Sunglasses Hut. So that was nice. It's really great if you need a job. I was overwhelmed because I was like 18 years old, but it was great. Like the seniors, they were thriving.
I had the opportunity to actually both attend and work a career fair. I worked ETP's booth, which was really cool because people were coming up because they recognized me from their classes and things, as a fellow student, but then I could tell them about all the opportunities that not only I had, but that we provide to our students. So it was kind of cool to be on both ends of the playing field there. In addition to the career fairs, UCF Rosen also does, I don't even know the full title, but like events where, they'll let you know, hey, all of these employers from the hotels in the area or the theme parks are going to be in the Disney ballroom from this time to this time. Bring your resume, bring your elevator pitch, and dress nice. It's like a mini career fair, honestly, and it's not to the full scale of the Rosen career fairs where it takes up the whole courtyard and things like that. But there are like 8 solid, job interactions with people that could potentially be hiring you in those moments. So I think that UCF Rosen does a great job of not just having a career fair where a lot of other colleges just have that 1 or 2 time a year situation. But there's so many opportunities likewise that you're getting kind of the same input output. So.
Yeah, thanks, Shelby. And I think you touched on a really good point there. The career fairs are huge events, but we've constantly got guests on site. We've constantly got the desks out the front. There's companies here all the time. So, it all goes back to that connectivity of the college. And I think for me, one of the most impressive things about the careers fair, certainly when it's on site, there's a room to show you how to dress properly. There's a room to do your hair. There's a room to talk to a camera. There's a room to do your LinkedIn profile. Everything is driven. It's really, you're trained and trained and trained. So by the time you go for your interview, it just becomes natural. So it's very impressive. It even tells you how to put a tie on, but I clearly didn't get that lesson. Okay, we've only got about 7 or 8 minutes. So it's really important if you've got any further questions, please do put them in the chat. Question for Jessica and Courtney. COVID. Okay, COVID is here and we're all dealing with it. Are you seeing any positives in COVID from maybe for the students for the future? So how certain industries maybe are pivoting possibly for the better? What sort of things that are positive out there that you're seeing, Jessica?
Yeah, thank you so much. Absolutely, Alan. So, there's so many great transferable skills, and Courtney and I have been talking about this for the last hour, that you gain working at, or being a Rosen College student. So if the industry that is, slower right now while we're rebuilding, right? Rebuilding from the pandemic, there's other industries that are hiring right now. We look at healthcare, the healthcare industry, senior living management, financial services, real estate. So these are all industries that are booming right now. You can take your transferable skills and the skills you've learned in our programs or in previous hospitality jobs and transfer that into the industry as well. There are so many opportunities out there that you can continue to build your skill set in order to pivot from now, but then to come back into the industry when it's when you're ready.
And it's interesting, if you become a student at the Rosen College and you decide to reside in our residences, you literally look out the back window and you'll see where the third universal theme park is. And despite COVID, they're still going ahead. They've slowed down, but the good news for you, if you come and join us 4 or 5 years down the line, very good timing for their new theme park. So it's been put back about 2 or 3 years, which actually works in your favor. So you have to take the positives from these things. Okay, we're running out of time, so I'm going to go through the students, start with Haley, then Shelby, then Ryan. Haley, if you were to, in 20, 30 seconds, if someone asked you, why study at the Rosen College? What it is that is so special that do you think you've learned so much to take you for the future? Why study at the college?
Just Rosen in general has probably been the best experience I've had through UCF. Like, I lived on main campus for the first 2 years. First year I lived in the Neptune dorms, and then I lived in the sorority house. And honestly, I had my most fun at Rosen. Like, everyone's so hospitable because hospitality management, I don't know, everyone's just so friendly and you just get so many connections. And that's the great thing about it, is you can just be sitting in class and you could be sitting next to the CEO of Disney one day. Like, you don't know. It's just crazy like that. Like, they could be my boss. It's just crazy. Just a lot of connections. It's great.
Positive crazy.
Yes, positive
Lovely.
crazy.
Shelby.
Yeah, absolutely. To expand upon that, I went to main campus for 2.5 years before I transferred over to Rosen, and Rosen was the most positive experience that I could have had in my college experience as a whole. It depends on what kind of person you are, honestly. If you're committed and inspired and you follow through with the goals that you have set for yourself, Rosen is the best place that you can go, because they're not there to kind of just see what happens. They're going to push you hard. They're going to make sure that you have all of the tools and skill sets ready to go so you can jump into whatever you want to do. They're not going to sit back and just kind of see how life takes you. They're going to make you follow the paths that you want to take. And so that's my biggest recommendation on why you should attend Rosen College and pursue those degrees just in general.
Lovely. Thank you, Shelby and Ryan.
Yeah, just echoing what Haley and Shelby said, I transferred from a different university to Rosen. And you will not find a more hospitable and, I guess, nurturing environment. Both the professors, your fellow students, everyone is there to help you. It's a great network of people, and it's just a very strong team. Everyone at Rosen's so nice and looking to just grow together. And additionally, you get exactly what you put in. So what you put in, you get right back. There are so many opportunities, whether it's student organizations at Rosen or events, for you to continue to grow and professionally develop. So another great aspect.
Wonderful. Okay, thank you very much indeed. I'm on a very, very strict time limit today, but that was the fastest hour I think we've had this week. That went really, really quickly, which is a really good sign. You were very engaging with your questions. Can we have a Zoom applause for Ryan, for Shelby, for Haley, Jessica, and Courtney? Thank you very much for responding so well to all the questions. Really, really appreciative. And I'll pass back to Jennifer, but I hope to see many of you at 7 tonight. It's for the event management and the entertainment management majors. We've got a great team tonight. We've got some real characters this evening, so it will be an enjoyable session. So thank you very much. Back to you, Jennifer.
Thank you, Dr. Fayal. And I think you'll agree with me that every time we hear our students speak about their experiences, it's inspiring and it's a reason to get up and go back to work tomorrow. because they have such incredible opportunities, and we just get to see a small part of that. And then they go on to be successful alumni. So it always makes me want to go back and study abroad or go on an internship or do something outside of my regular box, because y'all have had such great experiences. So thank you. And we have great faculty and staff to support our students. I hope that all of you as our guests have learned that today. We have one more session before 7 o'clock. So we'll encourage you to stay for our next session. It'll begin at 5. It'll be our Discover Campus Life, where you'll learn more about our campus organizations and UCF housing opportunities if you want to be an on-campus student. And Ryan, I think you must be living on campus, because that looks like a dorm room. Yep. So Ryan's one of many students that are living on our campus, and we can't wait to share that campus experience with you. So we're going to take a quick pause. For those of you that are staying for the next session, please feel free to join us. Take a quick break, and we'll begin at 5 o'clock.
Thanks, everyone.